pace has dropped on another edition of Soccer Down Here. Quoting the great acting legend Joey Tribbiani, how you doing? I think Atlanta United fans are feeling, we could probably quote Saturday Night Fever. Staying alive is an exciting night at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Saturday. We'll have some fun with that in just a little bit. And we'll go around the planet and see what's going on. Jarrett's a little under the weather this morning, so it is you and me. And so we will go probably a bit of an elongated power hour this morning, depending on everything that's on y'all's mind, and y'all being the official second person plural. And we'll continue to talk about playoff picture and the weekend that was in Major League Soccer. We'll go over the standings, go over the numbers, go over where things are, because quick turnaround for Atlanta United with activity going on in the midweek. And so on the midweek, we will have the midweek whipper on patent pending trademark coming, hopefully, and run through Atlanta United going after the Purple team, who had a bit of a hangover after winning the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, and showed. And so we'll see if they still have a hangover in the midweek when it comes to going up against Atlanta United. Like I said, we'll go over the standings, how everything's laid out, and we'll track everything down and figure out where things are involving Atlanta United, Major League Soccer, and the postseason. Obviously, in England, there was no action on the weekend in the Premier League, but there is some stuff off the pitch that has happened this morning. We'll get into that as well. So all the news that's fit to print, we will go over it here in the next little while, and we will hang out together. It is you, it is me. And first and foremost, let me show this. This is what Davis did. Davis Cobb, tremendous work from him, and that's the short version of it right there, considering it's hanging on the shower rod. So the childhood cancer scarf, and right there, that was very, very, very well done in the design. So thank you for those of you that either picked up the training jersey or picked up the scarf and all those kinds of things. So good morning to all of you. I guess we start things off with our opening kickoff, brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee, kickoffcoffeeco.com. And here, I know I've got to work on the QR code thing, and I think Bam had a good idea about it. But yeah, here's the QR code for those of you watching on Twitch right there. I'll get my finger out of the way. And I need to figure out a way to maybe bring it to right there, figure out some kind of a funky overlay. So that way, when I talk about it, I can bring it up and continue to improve my technological advancements when it comes to our friends here at StreamYard. But kickoffcoffeeco.com. You can follow them on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram, kickoffcoffeeco. And remember, use the code Soccer Down Here 15 15% off of your purchase every time that you want to dial up our friends at Kickoff Coffee. And then they, in turn, take 10% of the proceeds and roll them over into the youth game, into youth initiatives. Very, very cool stuff from them. Shiv, that's a good question. I don't know if they are still available, because I know I actually had to go into the team store to get it, knowing that there were going to be a lot of folks that are going to be chasing after this thing. So if they are still available at the team store, that's probably one of the best places to think of. But I'll do some digging, see if we can figure out if they are still out or if they have been sold out, which would be a really cool thing. So once again, Soccer Down Here 15, that's your code. And they, in turn, take 10% off and reinvest it into the youth game. So opening kickoff this morning is a bit of a belated birthday, and that was kind of one of the reasons that I wore the shirt that I'm wearing today. So here's your USL W League champs with South Georgia Tormenta. Belated happy birthday to Darren Van Tassel. Friend of the network, friend of the sport, and it's been great to follow along with South Georgia Tormenta from their beginnings and from our beginnings. I think we pretty much started along the same lines at the same time. But belated happy birthday to Darren Van Tassel. And as everything continues to grow and build with South Georgia Tormenta, they're going to get their first game at Tormenta Field on the weekend of October 1st. So if there's any way that you can find your way into the building, I think their final two playoff games, final two regular season games, and any playoff matches, if they get on the home side of things, that will start October 1st. Then you've got October 15th for the regular season finale. And then going forward, South Georgia Tormenta will have their own home there in Statesboro. As much as they've enjoyed playing at Irk Russell Park on the campus, they'll move across the parkway and into their own building starting October 1st. So once again, belated happy birthday to someone who has really been part and parcel to the growth of the game in the Southeast as we go. Thank you, Nix. Well done. Well done by Jason Nix with the heads up there. Your hands are faster than mine. So belated happy birthday to Darren Van Tassel over the weekend. He and Miss Nitra doing tremendous things for the growth of the game, not just in the eastern section of the state of Georgia, but all around, basically. That's a part of what we're seeing with South Georgia Tormenta. So belated happy birthday to them as South Georgia Tormenta is chasing after a playoff spot. So once again, that's our opening kickoff. I know it's kind of short and sweet this morning, but when you miss somebody's birthday, you better dial back and circle back and remind everybody quick. So once again, thanks to our friends at Kickoff Coffee, kickoffcoffeeco.com. And once again, you can follow them along right there, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. See, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram right there. QR code right there. And bam, I think you had the idea. I think it's right there. I just have to figure out how to get the QR code right there when I talk about Kickoff Coffee. So Kickoff Coffee CO, use the code Soccer Down Here 15, get 15% off of your purchase, and they'll take 10% and reinvest it into the youth game. So, all right, so we're going to have a little fun this morning. And once again, it was kind of testing my production limits when it comes to what I'm learning here with StreamYard as we continue to all grow together. And once again, thanks everybody for putting up with me. All right, so here we go. We're going to have some fun, and it's kind of going into the not-so-way back machine with the game with Atlanta United and Toronto FC over the weekend. I know that a lot of us probably don't have any fingernails left. Maybe some of us are still trying to recover our voices at this point. So here, we're going to play the highlights in a couple of different ways, and it's just in an audio form. But here is the short version of the highlights on the TV side because Mike and Jason were split up because of Kevin still being over in Europe. So Mike slid over, was paired with Mo and Jillian. Jason did solo duty on 92.9 The Game. So here's the short version of the TV side of the highlights, courtesy of our friends at Major League Soccer, Atlanta United, and Bally's Sports South.
That's a header. He's so dangerous off of set pieces to step up in these kind of moments. This is going to roll all the way through to Jimenez. Up ahead, and a good tackle. Peralta, pathetic goal! Akinole equalizes for Toronto. Lennon, Gutman, trying to go across the face of goal. Sanic, header, score! His opportunities off his set pieces is absolutely incredible. We'll give full credit because this play starts with a good ball. Still a lot of work to do and a lot of time left as Michael Bradley has been scuffed away by Gutman. But it rolls to Bernardeschi. And then Aruju from behind. Penalty! Oh my goodness! Jimenez draws the penalty. Incredible! This to equalize for Toronto in the 67th minute. Bernardeschi does just that. 2-2.
Goal yet again from another set piece. And then the Lows conceding the penalty kick.
Gutman takes that away from Bernardeschi. Flick by Mosquera to Almada. Thiago Almada. Almada!
Ball is won by Mosquera, who's brought so much life to the second half coming onto the pitch, but take nothing away from this picture.
Almada. And they score again!
You mark him. No, he gets a second one. You still don't mark him. And he finds. But another good performance from Thiago Almada in the heart of that midfield.
Uh-oh, here comes Larea. Chance for Toronto! And they put it off the post.
Defensively, Richie Larea gets into a dangerous position. And you see there, everyone is just beat with that ball. The only thing that denies this finding the back.
There it is, full time.
All right, what's wrong with one of those goals? I know that we had to kind of expand out a little bit, and Will, it is because of the economy. So here is one of Mike Conti's longer version of one of the goals. I think the one that I found was the hat trick. So, Will, you can't hear me. That's weird. Okay, that's odd. That is very, very weird. So, my voice is weird. And, I'm underwater? It's okay. Let me know if you're Monday. All right, well, hang on just a second. Let me see if on mine, and this is going to sound kind of weird. Let me see if
I sound weird listening to me, because I mean all of my all right. So all right, we'll workshop this together. We'll workshop it together. All right. So okay. So background music is normal. So the background music level is there, and all of my buttons have remained the same. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hang on. Good now? Okay, cool. I didn't touch anything. I don't know what happened. All right. Okay. So now that I touched something, whatever it was I touched. Okay, fine. All right. So now that we played the first round of the highlights, Will, this one is for you because of a gentleman that scored a hat trick, and you've developed something, and keep your notifications up. That's all I'm going to say. So, Will, this one is for you.
Juanjo Purata with the hat trick, and Atlanta United is still Westberg, of course, with the save at the penalty spot in the first half. Could have been a totally different game had Atlanta United scored on that penalty in the 12th minute. Almada. And they score again! And it's a hat trick for Air Force One! West.
2, 3, 4. Okay, so Nick, I'm taking your advice to heart. I didn't want to start talking about the all right. So that was Will. That's something that you can focus. That's it. That's two of the things that we have. So, all right, let's give it a sec. All right, give it a sec here. I feel like I need to kind of filibuster for 20 or 30 seconds before something is all right. So that we played two goals. So we played the Valley. Thanks to Valley Sports South. Thanks to Defense Soccer. Man. All right. Let's go to the audio. As you mentioned, that Mike and Jason were separated. I knew it. Yeah, I'll trigger the wires. Maybe I just need to not talk. So, we're going to go to the audio. This is Jason. Yeah, I know. Actually, came on one foot. I'm not going to sit it. All right, we're going to go to the audio first. And it's once again courtesy of our friends at 9292 and Major League Soccer United. This is the Thiago Almada goal from the next move, the third goal on the day. So here's Jason's call on the Thiago Almada goal. And Amelia will. Here's Jason's.
Westberg, punt into the middle. Purata heads it back into the attacking half. Bradley to Larea. Cisneros chasing. O'Neal to Henry. Cisneros still chasing. Up the left side. Bernardeschi tries to dummy it. Gutman didn't fall for it. Header down by Mosquera to Almada. Top of the 18. Thiago Almada to the right. Shot! What a goal by Thiago Almada! Goal, goal, goal! Thiago Almada! Golazo! 3-2. Thiago Almada. Amazing. Play to the top of the 6, headed away by Henry. Almada will take it again. You know they're looking for Purata. Toronto knows they're looking for Purata. Everybody in the building knows they're looking for Juan Jose Purata. They found him twice. Can Almada do it a third time? In swinging corner from the near side. Thiago Almada. Play to the front post. Headed down and in! Goal! 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 Atlanta United! And again, I don't believe this. Juan Jose Purata! of headers for Juan Jose Purata.
I don't know how long I should wait, but I'm going to talk through this here. And the folks at Opta, once again, thanks to our friends, 92.9 The Game, Major League Soccer, Atlanta United. Good to hear both Jason and Mike. Jason ran solo, Nick. Jason was by his lonesome the entire time. Probably because I'm done. Juan Jose Purata, the first player since at least 2010 to score 3 headed goals in a single MLS match. And I think, according to our friend Johannes Snyder, the Atlanta United stats guru, for lack of anything better, because he is the man who has done the research and knows what is going on when it comes to Atlanta United. So 6 different players got an assist. First time in club history when that has happened for Atlanta United. Also the first time since 2018 that more than 4 Atlanta United players got an assist in the same match. And so you end up with the secondary assist. And it looks like Juan Jose Purata is only the second in fullback, wingback to score a hat trick. And so I think it was dated back to, okay, here we go. Here was the stat I was looking for. Juan Jose Purata is believed to be only the second full-time defender ever to score a hat trick in Major League Soccer. The only other time came on 9/21/97. So almost 25 years to the day. Jose Vasquez of LA Galaxy. So we've got that from Juan Jose Purata. And yes, there is the option to purchase that as a part of the loan deal. So we'll keep an eye on that. And I think that after days like what we saw on the weekend, may not necessarily be one of the tougher decisions Atlanta United has to make. So we've got that 4-2 win for Atlanta United. So what does that mean? What it means is we go to the standings in Major League Soccer, we run through what happened on the weekend, and we lay out everything that happened with MLS and update where things stand as we head into the midweek. Once again, it's going to be a quick turn because you're going to have action Tuesday, Wednesday. So we're going to have a Tuesday midweek look around and a Wednesday midweek look around. We got 5 matches tomorrow that we'll be discussing, and then 4 more on Wednesday. So here's your standings. We'll probably get more in depth as we go this week. But in the East, we'll start there because that's where right now that's where everything is for Atlanta United. Philadelphia, once again, form. They won their last 5. They're 10 points clear with 3 matches to go. CF Montreal, match in hand, they're at 53. The draw did not help them out last time. Red Bulls at 50 points. They have 3 matches remaining. They've won 3 of their last 4. NYC has lost 4 of 5. They only have 1 point in their last 5 matches. They're at 46 points. They're regressing toward everybody else because Orlando City, with 2 matches in hand on NYC, has 29 matches played, 42 points. They have 12 wins, which would be the first tiebreaker against FC Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati's played 30 matches. They have 42 points. They've won 2 of 3. They're unbeaten in their last 5. Crew are at 41 points. Crew have only won once in their last 5. 4 draws. They're at 41 points. Here's what everybody else is chasing. So, Revs at 38. They are the first one below the bar. Inter Miami's lost 3 in a row. They're at 36. They have 10 wins and a match in hand against Atlanta United. Atlanta United, 9-9-12, 36 points. Right now, they are in 10th, but 5 points out of a playoff spot. Charlotte, 1. They are at 35 points and 11 wins. Once again, they're 6 points out of a playoff spot. 2 wins above Chicago, who are at 35 points and 30 matches played. Toronto only has 3 matches to go. Much like Philadelphia, Red Bulls, and NYC, they only have 3 matches to go this season. They're at 9-7-15, 34 points. DC United is at 27. They've drawn their last 2. So Western Conference, just to be fair, equal time. LAFC's at 60 points. Pam, I know, has been keeping an eye on this, especially after the loss last time out for them in the 2-1 loss to FC Dallas. But they are 9 points clear of Austin FC. Both have played 30 matches. Austin's lost 4 of 5. If they had had any result or a couple of those results go their way, this could have been a lot tighter. So LAFC and Austin have both lost 4 of 5. 9 points different.
Here comes FC Dallas, but they will do it without Alan Velasco, who's out for about a month. FC Dallas at 49 points. They've won their last two. Nashville, 46 points ever since they decided that offense was the way to go with Hani Mukhtar. They are at 46 points. They're unbeaten in their last five. Portland's won 4 in a row. They're at 45 points. Minnesota United, 44s across the board. Goals allowed, goals scored, point, all 44. They've lost 3 in a row. RSL's at 43. That's your playoff bar right now. LAG with the missed penalty and the Panenka in back-to-back matches by Chicharito, you're at 40 points. You've drawn 4 of 5. Seattle's at 39 points, 4 points out of a playoff spot. They've won 2 in a row. Then you got Colorado, who's 7 points back at 36, Vancouver 34, Sporting 31, Houston 30, San Jose at 30. Houston has 1 more win. That's how things are right now in the playoff picture in the East and the West. So going over results from the weekend just to get you back to where we were. Friday night football, Montreal and Crew tied at 2. Charlotte, remember, got the 1-0 win over NYC, scored in the first half and held on. Nashville and LAG, a 1-1 draw at Geodis. Red Bulls over Revolution, 2-1. Philadelphia put 5 on Orlando City. That was the hangover that I was mentioning with Orlando City having won U.S. Open Cup. They put 5 on the board, meaning Philadelphia. Once again, Philadelphia putting a lot of points on the board in the minus 204 in Chester. Speaking of putting points on the board, San Jose's probably thinking, yeah, we're good. Having Cincinnati put 6 on you at TQL is a busy day for Tom Galerder and that crew. 6 on the board for Cincinnati, which really helps out the goal difference, even though goal difference is down your tiebreakers. Every tiebreaker counts. Seattle beat Austin 3-0 to minus Buck McQuarter. We talked to Nico Moreno about that one. You go back to Thursdays with Nico. And every Thursday we'll be discussing things from the Western perspective and working our way east. Chicago, even money, 1-3-1 against Inter Miami. Houston and Sporting a goalless draw. Same for RSL and DC United. You mentioned Dallas beating LAFC. Rapids beat the Whitecaps 3-1 to minus 156. Portland beat Minnesota 1-0 to minus 139. Of all of the favorites, 2, 4, 6, 7 favorites on the minus side won. You had one at even money with Chicago at a plus 100. Then you had the 2 pluses win. FC Dallas at a plus 217 was the biggest dog on the board to get a win. Then you had 3 draws, 4 draws if you include Montreal and Crew. So a lot of favorites won this past week because, as we've said, 2 out of about every 7 are wins for teams in Major League Soccer on the road this year. But once again, remember, this is when everybody's starting to line things up. Right now, juice boxes, we'll go over them as we go. But early juice boxes, looking into Tuesday, you've got CF Montreal on the minus side, the 3 home teams, Miami, Minnesota, Houston, they're all on the plus side, and 2 of them are favorites. LAFC going to Minnesota United is the only road favorite. Sporting Kansas City at home against DC is at a minus 147. On Wednesday, Orlando's about even money. Austin favored at home. Colorado favored at home. Vancouver slight underdog at home. LAG's about 10 juice boxes ahead, 150 within the margin of error, so that probably will change a little. That's where we are with the playoff picture heading into Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, so let's get into the comments. And I know a lot of them have to do with my audio, so we'll blow through those. Good morning, everybody. Shiva, I know that, Shiva, you had something on Twitter, so let me go to the Twitters and get that as well. Special night at the Bend, starting with recognizing childhood cancer. Team played well, and if we can't get goals from our strikers because we don't have a constant striker, then let's get them from center backs. And Thiago Almada. It's a great goal from Thiago Almada. Pull back the curtain a little bit. In the press box, when we were looking at the Thiago Almada goal, the response was basically as it should be when you get that kind of just absolute genius. And he put 2 internationals in Daniil Henry and Michael Bradley in the spin cycle for that 3rd goal. It was very, very pretty. Shiva predicted 5 points out of the next 4 matches, but if the next 2 matches are as fun as Saturday night, I won't complain. A lot of folks won't complain. Let's see. Yes, Jesse, thank you. Yes, sure.
Pro really needs to do something about the absolute dumpster fire they call refs. Yes, they do. And what it is, we've had this discussion a lot, but Bam, to your point, you've really got to be vigilant as fans and make sure that everyone knows, in a very professional way, that there are problems that need to be addressed. Excuse me for a second. We talk about it a lot here on the show, and the largest element in this, is just the overall frustration with pro, their inconsistency, their lack of accountability, and lack of transparency. I don't want, we say lack of transparency. I don't need 100% of the time, but news dump and not letting us know when officials are held accountable. I mean, I go back to the Jair Marufo incident very, very early in the season where he was taken off the field and put to the bar. And then you had another official off the top of my head. I can't remember who it was, but then they didn't have an assignment the following week. Those kinds of things. We've got to continue to be vigilant and aware of the frustrations that we all have when it comes to officials. And I know that Michael. When we've had the discussion, and I know Michael that when you talk about pro, they are the only ones who are accountable to themselves. And I know that when you have the the guy who built the house is the only guy with the set of keys, and he's the only guy who can let anybody in and unlock the door and lock the door. I know that really doesn't do anybody any favors, but I think that we all should continue to be vigilant as professionally as we can when it comes to all of the calls that we have and things like that and the frustrations with VAR. I think we should continue to voice our frustrations, but do it in a way where we are presenting evidence and not just making it sound like it's reactionary, even though it is. There are ways to present evidence to sit there and it's like, okay, how can we address this problem? How can we address this problem? And do things empirically. Have your evidence, present your case, do it that way. It's almost like an episode of Law and Order. When you're, when you're Sam McCoy or who pick your favorite attorney, and you have to present your case. You're sitting there and you're having the discussions with the witnesses and the judges and things like that. You got to just have your evidence ready to go. Have your evidence ready to go and continue to voice your displeasure about pro. Because I know it seems like nothing will ever get done, but nothing will ever get done faster if we do nothing. If that makes any sense, it's a lot easier for someone not to do anything if no one's talking about it. And so I would just continue to be as proactive as possible on social media and presenting cases and things like that. And there's always hope that things can change when it comes to accountability and experience and building a solid official base when it comes to Major League Soccer. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Okay, so Nix, thank you for posting the team score element. The red card to Hollingshead is what we're getting into. How can you be red carded when you tackle and get all balled and kicked by the player trying to shoot? There you go. Emilio, all for Juanjo coming back next year with Miles coming back. Can Pineda figure out a way to make the back line not so scary in our box? Yes. So let's see. Yeah, the technical issues. Bam, don't know. I know the conversation with Nix, but I don't know what the fee would be that's associated with Tigres. One hope about probably 7 figures, but we'll see. And right now, it looks like an investment well worth it. Let's see. Yeah, option in the current deal. Shiva, you always need depth. And this is the season that is evidence that you always need depth. So, and I know that you're going to need guys in the back line who can probably do multiple things. Can they play on the wing and be a center back if called upon? So, this is the season that has, once again reinforced to me that there's no such thing as too much depth. So,
I know there will be roster decisions in the offseason, but we've got to get to the offseason first before we have the roster decision, if that makes any sense. We're not there yet. Still got games to play. You've got Orlando, you've got Philly, you've got the Revs, and you've got NYC. So when we get to that, we get to that. Right now, enjoy Juanjo Plata and the man's hat trick, and enjoy a 4-2 win, which was very, very cool to see. And thanks to all of the 7 teams. It's great to see all of you at Mercedes-Benz. And they're going to need you yelling. I don't know how many of you are heading down to Orlando in the midweek, and they're going to need you down there in that corner that they decide to put folks in at Exploria Stadium. So if you're going, please be safe and just let us know if you're going. Let's see. I have jiggled the wires. Thomas, we don't know when it comes down to Franco, but once again, when you get to the off season, then you start to discuss, who's available and who stays and all that kind of stuff. That could, it could very well be that it was the highlight package and its level versus my level, those kinds of things. It's tech support. It's something that I don't know about. I'm trying though. I'm trying to expand my horizons here. I got to the point where I was bringing in guests. Got to the point where I was, playing sound, playing music, those kinds of things. But yeah. So the audio clip sounded fine. The voice was messed up. Yes, Bam, we do use StreamYard, and that's where we go. But yeah, Jason, yes, Nick, Jason called the match by himself. So that was a strong performance by, once again, when it's great to hear Jason on play-by-play, and having been working with him as long as I have, it's great to see him get those opportunities. And he has a lot of those where he's calling collegiate games, and he's becoming this three-dimensional force in soccer. And Mike being able to call matches on television, he's doing a fantastic job. It was great to see. It was great to see the guys going in different directions. As much as I love them in the one place, it was great to see him, Mike, getting the opportunity on television with Mo and Jill, and then Jason calling the match for a 92-9 game. Don't know about George Campbell, Emilio, and whether or not he can play other positions with the twos. I remember him playing on the outside and also in the middle, but there have been times where he's played the 6 out of necessity. So now that I think about it, there have been times where George has played the 6. So what Gonzalo Pineda sees with George Campbell could be, but we know where he can be. He can be center back. He can be a 6. Those are the two that I definitely remember seeing. Nick, like what I've seen from Mosqueda so far, can't wait till he has some time with the team, right? And I know that YouTube videos can only take you so far, but with a guy like Mosqueda, you get him running at 400 miles an hour down the left-hand side, and you're seeing his ability there to just put defenders on their heels. And we saw it a couple of different occasions, especially when it led to the goal where he ended up getting the assist. So, Mosqueda will cut it inside, or he'll run outside on defenders, and it's been really cool to see his speed. But once again, you bring somebody in on loan, you're asking them to grab the comet tail and have them hang on. So it's just trying to learn as you go. And I think that you're seeing also Mosqueda getting more and more comfortable with what he's being asked to do under Gonzalo Pineda. So it's great to see. It's great to see all that stuff there with Mosqueda as well. Let's see. AFL update from Bam. Bam is our resident AFL correspondent because they're getting closer and closer to the grand final. And also our resident Ukrainian Premier League correspondent. Please hold. Collingwood beat Fremantle by 20, which means this weekend Geelong hosts Brisbane. Sydney Swans host the Magpies. The winners go to the grand final. And if you've never seen the grand final, I know we're kind of going off the rails here, but what else is new? It is amazing pageantry. And it is something that when ESPN used to do they used to show the AFL games, they would have late coverage. You'd have anchors here in the state tossing to the coverage back in Australia. So for a guy like me that grew up on Peter Landy and Lethal Lee Matthews on the field, it's been fun to have FS2 as a guilty pleasure watching the AFL. Let's see, Shooter. Morning, Shooter. Need to put the Revs in an eliminized chamber. Well, that promo will come up in about 20 minutes. So we'll get folks figured out. Well, maybe if you did eliminize.com/Foxborough or eliminize.com/Boston, maybe that would work. You get Eliminize to help you with what's going on with the Revs. Sorry, garbage took his franchise. I know that you are less than pleased. Kefsey can't wait to see some horizontal field goal hand gestures. Man, yes, bang. And the thing is that I don't know. I used to remember when we were a lot younger and we would watch, and they had the dudes in the suit jacket, the fedoras and the white blazers doing it. But now that they're trying to make them look more athletic and younger by putting them in the cap and the warm up outfit. You know, so I mean, I miss the pageantry of the old days with the old dude in the fedora. I miss that too. Let's see. Shooter once again. Stink like Tookus. Nice job, Bruce. Kefsey between Orlando and New England sounds like we've got high and low horse opponents. Shooter says New England's done. Like the pathetic sacks of crap they are and always win and always will be. Yes. Let's see. Shooter, yes. Shooter is coming in hot as usual. And Kevsey recommending our friends at Beyond Goals Mentoring, possibly. But, maybe wait a little later. Because I know Parkey has the ties to New England, but maybe wait a little later. So Shooter says he knows the deal. That's why he left. Okay. Let's see. Is anyone eliminated yet from the playoffs? Let's see if there is anyone eliminated from the playoffs. So Sheila, let's see. I don't think there is, but some folks are close. DC is eliminated in the East because they played 30 matches, and they 12 plus 27 is 39. So yeah, so DC, even if they won out, would only get to 39 points. If DC is eliminated, Houston is eliminated because if they won out, it would be 42 points. 30 matches played, 30 points. San Jose, if they won out, they would be. I don't think San Jose would be eliminated also at 30 points. So, San Jose is listed as not having been eliminated from the playoffs, but it's because they have one more match to play. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong column. But San Jose has one more match to play at 30 points than Houston does. Houston maxes out at 42, and RSL's at 43. So Houston and DC are the only two teams right now that are eliminated. Yes, thank you. I see you're faster on the scroll than I am. Mike came and crashed the full-time report. It was fun. Cool. Very nice. Emilio, can't determine who on the back line is just struggling, not a fitter, who's just not capable of grasping what is being asked this year. Has Franco regressed this year? I don't think so. I don't think Alan Franco has regressed at all. And what you need is different personalities to do different things back there at the back line. And when you have Alan Franco back there, sometimes he is one who is controlling. He's the one who's pulling the strings a little bit. Sometimes he's the guy that's your physical force back there. And so you're seeing different personalities from Alan Franco. And, when you have someone like that who's trying to integrate with the injuries that are off to the sides, and you're trying to sit there and like, okay, how do I integrate with this guy? I know Monday through Friday is different than on game days, but it's a challenge for the guys who have been there the longest in the sense of the time frame matches played. You're playing with Aiden McFadden, you're playing with Brooks Lennon, you're playing off to the left with George Campbell, that you start with Miles, and then Ronald Hernandez, and so all of these different moving pieces, and it takes a while sometimes to get some kind of continuity. So no, I don't think Alan Franco has regressed at all this year. Could use some midfielders, unload some current midfielders with big salaries. That's a conversation with Emilio and David. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not Yes, Kelsey, remember to compartmentalize. Exactly. We need to do that with Orlando coming up this weekend. But the biggest thing is looking at that right now with matches still to play and matches still to play for. Don't focus on that thing. The biggest thing to focus on is the notion of the next game. And I know it sounds trite, and I know it sounds cliche, and I probably should put $1 in the jar. But you've got to focus on the task at hand. The task at hand is Orlando. Because you got work to do. You can't focus on anybody else. You can't focus on next season. You can't focus on anything right now except the match in front of you. And you do your best. And Orlando is reeling right now, especially after the U.S. Open Cup and what Philadelphia did to them this past week. They started Joaquini as a way to kind of rotate the roster a little bit, in the starting 11. So I think Orlando can be had. I think with what we're seeing with the firepower that's there. And remember, I think after next week is when Thiago Almada heads to his time with the Argentine national team. So, the what you're seeing with the guys right now, just just focus on the next thing. Like I said, I know that it's just one game at a time. That's another $1. So I got $2 in the jar this morning. But just don't worry about next season because we're not there yet. And then when we get to next season, then you can focus on everything else. That's the biggest thing. Is Almada going to miss any games? Let me check the date on Thiago Almada and Argentine national team. I'm going to figure out the date. If it is, it's just a little early. It might be Philadelphia. I don't know, but don't quote me yet. Okay, so September window, Honduras, Jamaica. Like I said, I know this makes for fantastic radio. Let's see, no date attached to that story. And September 23rd, he probably won't because it doesn't mention a call-up date. But the friendly against Honduras is the 23rd. So I think after Philadelphia, he'll head down. So I think after Philadelphia, he'll head down. I don't think that it will mess with the international window anymore. How do we improve? We can't average multiple goals given up per game. True. I know. I'm just saying, Emilio, right now, focus on this season. I'm not saying don't improve. I'm just saying that right now we're not to that point of looking at next season yet. We're not to the off season to look at next season. This season has to get over first, and that's what I'm doing. I guess, Kevsey, I'm compartmentalizing. I'm looking at the remainder of this season first, and I know that once again in the off season we talked about Gonzalo Pineda having a second window to try to mold the roster into the direction he wants. But since the team is not eliminated from anything and you're still chasing something, then I would focus on what's going on in front of us and continue to look at things a step at a time. I'm not jumping 3 steps ahead of the process. I understand the desire about improving, and that's what they're trying to do in this season first. Right, and it does apply to this current season as well. I think we've seen some things in the last handful of matches where the team is getting the offense that you're looking for, the set pieces that have been an issue for Atlanta United. Yes, and you're looking at Air Force One. Yes, well, there you go. That's your mention for the morning. That was the first one from me. It does apply to this current season. When it comes to a lot of folks saying, okay, well, we need to get rid of this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, we're not there yet. I'm not looking at next season. I'm focusing on this season. I think Orlando can be had. I think that what we've seen from the relationship with you had Tom and Ronaldo, you figure last time I think that we saw from them, I'll get the numbers up in just a little bit, but I think that what we've seen from Thiago Almada pulling the strings, Luis Araujo on the edge, you're seeing Gutman and Lennon on the wings, which is what you're looking for. Everyone getting healthy in that regard, and I think that you saw against Toronto what this team can do. Toronto is more than happy to sit there and try to turn it into, uh, PS5, and they will frustrate the daylights out of you. But I think what you're seeing is Almada kind of pulling the purse strings a little bit, and he's sitting there with his vision. If there's the opportunity to put Henry and Bradley in the spin cycle and have a Golasso from 20, then he'll do it. But at the same time, that vision is there, and you're seeing what Thiago Almada can be. You're seeing why he deserved that call up to the Albi Celeste. So I think that you're getting everybody healthy. Everybody's getting back in the lineup. Everybody is piecing it together the way that it has all been anticipated. So I'm liking what I'm seeing as a part of the growth. So it's, for me, it's all part of the process. And I know that when you've got Purata at the back helping to clean things up defensively, that's also part of it too. So, obviously, I know that a lot of folks are sitting there saying the first priority is to sign Juanjo Purata, make sure that loan turns into a purchase. And Shiva, that is true. They were missing Insigne, Mavinga, and Astoria, and that was key for them on both aspects. But I think also, even with Mavinga at the back, you could tell offensively that without Insigne, Bernardeschi, and Criscito and Bradley weren't as fluid. Because I think that if you cut the supply lines off, if you cut the supply lines off for Michael Bradley in that situation where he's been playing a deeper role and helping spur things forward, I think you saw what Toronto can be with Insigne and now without Insigne. But then not having Mavinga at the back also hurt, because you looked at the lineup and it wasn't very deep. But once again, the injuries are there. Couldn't have happened at a worse time for Toronto FC and for Atlanta. You took advantage of it, which is what you're supposed to do. You take care of what you're supposed to take care of at home. Bottom line, you do that, you move on, you go to the next. And like I said, match at a time. It's the third dollar in the jar. Match at a time, midweek at Orlando, and you're working your way forward. Let's see, what else am I missing here? Got to clean up the stupid penalties for sure. Well, I thought that the second one was kind of soft. I legitimately didn't, and so I thought the second one was soft, and I'm glad that the first one, which looked like Sadie touched it with his hand, it was close to his body and those kinds of things. Once again, it goes back to our pro discussion, so we'll see where we are. Let's see. Bart, we saw a lot of players in the offseason to bring in better players. Definitely that's going to happen. I'm going to recommend Gillespie rest for the weekend. Capsi, you are not alone in that regard. I think a lot of folks are asking / requesting that Pedro Gillespie rest for the weekend. I think that's a cool thing. So yeah. So El Pulpo, take it easy. Yeah, no need for El Pulpo. So yeah, no doubt. Keep them coming. It's great to have all the conversation, especially about my lack of technical skills. But that's nothing new. But good to have a little variety in the show this morning. Jarrett, by the way, is feeling a little under the weather, and hopefully he can be back with us tomorrow. The way the week is laying out, let's see. For those of you that did college soccer, I will be calling the Oglethorpe women's game tomorrow night. 7 o'clock, I think, is the start time over at Oglethorpe. So you go to the Oglethorpe website and you can listen to me call the women's match at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Tomorrow, our programming will be up and running. The USL programming, USL Championship, and League One weeklies will be up. If you missed it, over the weekend, we caught up with Steve Livingston, part of the ownership group for the new USL Championship to Jacksonville, Florida group. It was great to catch up with him, find out about the footprint, the decision making, what's next for you and for Jack's USL. So that's on the network as well, and that was a fun 20 minutes. Dylan Butler once again to join us at in the 10 o'clock hour on Wednesday. We've got Nico Moreno. Hopefully he won't have to be fixing a tire and start Thursdays with Nico a little late. So then Friday is the 8:45 start, remember, because we have to get in the weekend look around patent pending trademark coming. That has to go on your Friday mornings. So 8:45 start Friday mornings. Thursday traditionally is turning into more of a power hour because of what the high school commitments that I have, having to leave the home office and head downtown for live and tape programming. And so Friday, once again, 8:45 start, 9:30 is Beyond Goals. And that is the week that should be here on SDA. And once again, thanks to everybody who is hanging out with me and watching and making sure that all of my technological advances are what they are, and all of the crappy sound is the crappy sound, and I take full responsibility for all of it. All right, we're getting close to the top of the hour, so let me see if I can find my piece of paper. Well, there it is. And Shooter, once again, maybe if you did Lemonize.com /Boston, that might help you, or Foxborough, or Patriot. But maybe try a Lemonize service, and maybe you should maybe one of those hash marks or one of those hashtags should help them out for that. But let's see. So since we're doing promos here, I'm going to go and find the music, and let's see if it's worse. When I do this. It traditionally hasn't. So we will see if it works. Bear with it.
All right. For odor-free, clean, fresh air, one place you need to go. It's Lemonize service. Lemonize service, lemonize.com. We'll get into all of the other stuff in just a little bit with the slashes and dashes and all of that. The Lemonize service deodorizes enclosed spaces like houses, apartments, and condos, and it looks like Shooter wants it to deodorize an entire stadium. The Lemonize has created a customized solution that eliminizes all organic odors, including those like pets, cigarettes, and food. Realtors and property managers use the Lemonize service to eliminate bad odors to help them sell or rent their homes that much faster. Turnkey process makes it easy to work with said realtors and property managers, kind of the environment, offering a green way to get rid of odors without any kind of toxic residue whatsoever. Different than Febreze or any other kind of masking agent, because when you put that masking agent, it's either under the sink or in the cupboard. You pull it out from the cupboard or out from underneath the sink, you spray it in the air. That's why they call it a masking agent. You're just masking the odor. You're not attacking the problem all the way down to the molecule like our friends at Lemonize do with their proven scientific formula. Pricing very, very easy, either by cubic feet or parts per million, to come up with a price that is affordable for you, offering results in 24 hours or less. 24 hours or less. Go to the website. Shooter, like I said, maybe if you did /Foxborough or /Boston, it would help out the Patriots. So, lemonize.com /Atlanta, for those of you watching here in the footprint, to let them know exactly where in the world you are reaching out to them from to help them attack your problem. Full homework assignment, ELIMINIZE.com. Actually, I need to do this with a pen. ELIMINIZE.com /Atlanta, lemonize.com /Atlanta. For odor-free, clean, fresh air, the Lemonize service, proud sponsors of everything SDH. And try to get the slow fade. Man, I got the slow fade to work, except when it got down to the 0. So, how did that sound? Was that better? Did that work? Did that have any kind of garbling or goofiness attached to it? Like I said, and I'm canvassing. I'm trying to workshop the audio problem here, or my lack of audio prowess. Well, that's probably more accurate. So, was there garbling when I read the promo? How did I sound? How did the music sound? Let me know. Please hold. And that is the Mountain Dew for the morning. All right, so let's go around the world. Let's get into viewing habits for today. And for those keeping an eye on England and Scotland, I think that kicks back in on tomorrow. They've yet to figure out, I believe, how the postponed round is going to integrate back in. And we'll keep an eye on that. So today, viewing habits. Turkish Super League, both BN and BN Espanyol, noon and 2, the doubleheader. Besiktas, Başakşehir, and Demirspor and Trabzonspor. That's at noon and 2 on BN, the BN family of networks. Fox Deportes Liga MX Femenil doubleheader. Santos Laguna, Tijuana, Monterrey, and Atlas at 8 and 10. ATLUTD.com has Serie A Femenil, Parma and Sassuolo at 1 o'clock. BTN Plus, they have college men. ESPN kind of busy. They got some college. They have La Liga. They have Almeria Osasuna at 2:50, and they also have the Segunda with Ibar and Granada. That is at 2:50. They have college matches, and Paramount Plus has Empoli and Roma at 2:45 from Serie A. Sarmiento and Independiente on Paramount Plus is at 4 o'clock. So that's your quick rundown of everything going on TV-wise and how you can grab it. If you don't have access to BN, you can get that through Fanatis, our friends at Fanatis, fntz.co/soccer down here. And you can subscribe to Fanatis. I got hooked. Thanks to Jason, and you will too. Got matches going on right now. We have Eastern Europe, the Baltics getting ready toward the top of the hour. It is North Africa. They will be kicking in Saudi Arabia. So MENA kicking in late morning. Got a lot of activity in the Middle East and Eastern Europe. Besiktas, since we mentioned that game in the Super League, they're a favorite at home against Başakşehir. African Champions League is going on. That starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Germany is going on. Serie A women, we talked about that one. Sassuolo is a favorite on the road at Parma. That one's at 1 o'clock. Also on the board, you get into Primera B, Primera Nacional in Argentina, starting at 2 o'clock. Our friends at Sacachispas, they are a home dog hosting Flandria. We have FA Trophy is going on today. It's the lower divisions, National League North and South. Ligue 2 is going on at 2:45. Serie A, Empoli and Roma. Roma, a big favorite at a -139. Northern Ireland is going on today. Since we mentioned La Liga, Osasuna is a slight road favorite heading to Almeria, and Ibar is a favorite at home up against Granada. Sarmiento Junín is a road dog as Independiente visits, and this is in Argentina at 4 o'clock. Liga MX Femenil at 4:45. Club America, big favorite at home hosting Juarez. South America kicks back in about 5 o'clock, works its way through. Primera Nacional, Deportivo Morón. These are names that we come across when it comes to soccer over there. That's why they get mentioned and rolled around. Liga MX Femenil has a double header basically at 6 o'clock. Pachuca, favorite on the road at Necaxa. Club Leon, favorite at home hosting Querétaro. Once again, South America starts in the evening. Quilmes and Estudiantes Rio Cuarto. Quilmes, even money at home. Club Tijuana is a road favorite as the 8 o'clock in Liga MX Femenil. And then the doubleheader late in Liga MX Femenil. Toluca, big favorite on the road at Mazatlan. Monterrey, an even larger favorite, -435, going up against Atlas. That is going on today. Also on the board, I know a lot of folks were looking at Juve and Salernitana, looking at what happened there, the 2-2 draw. And let's just say after 90 minutes, it got crazy. And so I would recommend finding all of the news that's fit to print on it. You had red cards, you had VAR, you had goals. It finished at 2-2. It was absolutely nuts. But the bottom line is, Juve came down from 2 goals at the half to draw Salernitana. Atalanta gave up the Serie A lead with the 1-1 draw to Cremonese. Now, also looking at the standings in the Bundesliga, if you had Union Berlin at the top of the standings after match week 6, you win. I want to know who you were talking to. Union Berlin, 4 wins, 2 draws, no losses so far this year. They're at 14 points, one of 6 teams that are in double-digit points right now after 6 matches. Here's your first 6. Union Berlin, Freiburg, didn't have either one of those. Bayern, third right now at 12 points. They've drawn their last 3, and their goal difference is a +14. Hoffenheim, Dortmund, and Mainz right now. That's your top 6 in the Bundesliga. Did not have that as my top 6 when it came to what's been going on. Also on the board, let's go to England and see what's going on there. Biggest news probably the morning. Diego Costa signs with Wolves after the appeal about his eligibility in the eyes of the Premier League and the FA and all the governing bodies. They appealed. Diego Costa signs a 1-year deal with Wolves to help them out. Arsenal and PSV, and this is Bart, thank you for mentioning this. Arsenal and PSV, the Europa League group game has been postponed due to a lack of police. Yes, a lack of police. UEFA confirmed the fixtures to be rearranged because there are limitations on police numbers during the national mourning of Queen Elizabeth II, not known when the match will be played. All other European ties, including UK teams, expected to go ahead this week. UEFA statement read, quote, UEFA today announced that the Europa League tie between Arsenal and PSV Eindhoven, originally to be played Thursday, 15 September, has been postponed with a new date to be communicated in due course. So that's their lead. That's their lead paragraph on that. So, understandably, the EFL is set to kick back in, pardon the pun, with their action on Tuesday. The National League confirms their fixtures are resuming today, as we read. FA confirms the WSL and grassroots football returning to their regular schedules this weekend. A minute's silence will be held before matches. Black armbands to be worn, flags to be flown at half-staff, and the national anthem to be played in stadiums. FA confirmed the WSL is returning to their regular schedules. The funeral for Queen Elizabeth II taking place at 11 a.m. Monday, September 19th at Westminster Abbey. All EFL fixtures postponed on the weekend of September 10 and 11. National League confirmed matches will go ahead scheduled for Monday. 1 minute silence to be observed at all matches before the funeral players to wear black armbands. And so in the championship, you'll have 6 matches on Tuesday. You'll have 6 matches on Wednesday. League One is going to have, looks like, a full schedule, and the same with League Two. Rangers, by the way, their Champions League group stage game at home to Napoli has been pushed back 24 hours to Wednesday following discussions between Police Scotland, Glasgow, the Glasgow club, and UEFA. European football's governing body have announced the tie at Ibrox, originally to be played Tuesday, has been rescheduled for Wednesday at 8 o'clock local time, so 3 o'clock our time for those of you watching Golasso. UEFA statement explained this is due to the severe limitations on police resources and organizational issues related to the ongoing events surrounding the national mourning for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. All UEFA games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to go ahead as scheduled. Remember, Champions League kicks back in on Tuesday with 2 matches, 4 matches on Wednesday. Europa and Europa Conference League, they're going to have all of their matches, and we'll preview those, and we'll run through all of the juice boxes on those starting tomorrow. Let's see. We've got, the Arsenal and the PSV, Diego Costa. He joined the Wolves on a free, and that's also a good piece of business. Once again, you can do those kinds of things outside the window for your transfers. So that one definitely worked its way well financially for Wolves first and foremost, and you're hoping that he helps out and can help out, especially when you lose Sead Kolasinac to an injury and you're trying to find that guy. And so hopefully Diego Costa, if you're a Wolves fan, can be that guy. So that's what you're looking at there with all of that movement going back and forth. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else on the table when it comes to activity. And honestly, now I figured this might be a power hour this morning just because of everything that is going on, has been going on. Let's see. Gio got to go to an away day, according to Will. Isn't the U.S. kit's official release coming soon? All right. So Bart says, yes, it's coming this week for 3 weeks, but yes, officially out. We kind of know what it looks like, but we're waiting for that one as well. Last call. If there's anything else on your mind this morning when it comes to Atlanta United, obviously it'll be a topic. It was a topic today. It'll be a topic tomorrow. It'll be a topic on Wednesday. We got time to talk about it. So if there's anything else on your mind this morning, go ahead and lay it out here for me. Now that I'm thinking about it, before we go, once again, this is another element of John and his silliness. I have to now find an AC adapter for my computer because last place I left my computer, I left it behind, and it probably got up and walked away. So now, let me see if I can lift it up just so I can show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you don't have your AC adapter for your computer. Let me see if I can, where is it? Where's my camera? There it is. Yeah, see, that's what it looks like, not having an AC adapter for your computer. And so I've got to catch up with our friends at, I'm going to catch up with our friends at the folks that deliver on very, very short notice to get an AC adapter for my computer. So yay me. All right. So KFC, good result. People understandably reserved. Hope they keep it up. Absolutely. Yeah, right there with you. So, I'm going to go over USL Championship and League One and all that kind of stuff, considering that we did wish Darren Van Tassel happy birthday. Let's see. In USA, over the weekend in USL Championship, Tab Ramos, I think, officially took over at Hartford Athletic. And so it was, good stuff for them. They got the new coach bump when he signed on. And so we'll see if Hartford can continue to turn that around. Over the weekend, this kind of will set you up for SDH on USL Championship for tomorrow. You had a lot of the home teams get the Duke. The Miami FC put 7 on Red Bulls 2, which will definitely help out when it comes to goal difference. A lot of goals. Man, a lot of goals this past weekend. Pittsburgh and Lou City, a goalless draw, not necessarily a surprise. Indy 11 and Birmingham, this one was a surprise. At the mic, Indy 11 was a plus 252. They were not the biggest favorite on the board, the biggest dog on the board to get a win. Indy 11, a 4-3 win over Birmingham. That really flattened the tires on Birmingham's rush to try to go up the table. Hartford beating FC Tulsa, first game for Tab Ramos at a plus 102. Charleston, this one's the real shocker of the weekend. Charleston knocks off the Tampa Bay Rowdies by the score of 2-1 at Patriots Point. Big win for them in general. And Tampa Bay, we'll get into the standings in just a sec. Also, San Antonio continues their winning ways in the West. They had clinched a playoff berth, and they're getting that much closer to clinching home field. Beating San Diego 1-0. RGV beat New Mexico. Big win for RGV, and putting a bit of a crimp in New Mexico's postseason rush. Detroit City, big win for them in a crossover against Colorado Springs. Sacramento put 4 on Loudoun after losing an Open Cup. Orange County SC, and we'll have news, I believe it's tomorrow, is the City of Irvine's meeting to determine the future of Championship Stadium in Irvine and whether or not their tenants will be LA Galaxy, or whether the tenant will be Orange County SC, or will it be both. We're trying to get some interviews squared away on that regard too, either before or after the meeting with the Irvine City Council. Vegas and Monterey was postponed, and Oakland knocked off Phoenix Rising by the score of 2-0. So just in the East, and we'll look at the playoffs here. The East, you've got pretty much Lou City at 60 points. They're 5 points ahead of Memphis. Memphis is a match in hand at 55. Tampa Bay with the loss, 54. Pittsburgh with the draw, 52. Birmingham with the loss, 51. So you've got 4 teams separated by 4 points, 2 through 5 in the East in the USL Championship. Birmingham at 51. The Miami FC at 47, and they have 13 wins. Detroit City has a match in hand. Looks like they're going to need it. They're at 46. So that's what that's what you're looking at for the playoffs. With that, Red Bulls 2 eliminated, Atlanta United 2 eliminated, Charleston with 5 matches to go, they're eliminated. Loudoun with 6 matches to go, 6-3 is 1842. They are eliminated. Hartford with 5 to go, they are eliminated. Indy 11 with 6 to go, they are not. So Hartford, Loudoun, Charleston, Atlanta United 2, and Red Bulls 2 all eliminated from playoffs in the East. Tulsa with 4 matches to go, they are still alive. So it's Indy 11 and FC Tulsa chasing after Detroit City for that second spot, or the 7th spot in USL Championship. So San Antonio, 28 matches. They are 11 points clear of San Diego Loyal, who has fallen on hard times. They've lost 4 of 5, and it's worse than that in form in 10. Colorado Springs now at 51 points. They couldn't make up any ground. They had the chance. Sacramento's at 46. with 28 matches played. They got 6 to go. New Mexico at 42. They've lost 4 of 5. They're at 42. El Paso is at 40. Vegas Lights at 37. Then RGV's now at 36 after having won 3 of 4. So they're chasing after that 7 spot. Los Dos is at 36. They've got 10 wins. They've played 29 matches. Roots are at 36. They're the least amount of wins with 8. Monterey Bay is at 27 matches played. They have the most matches to play, 7 matches to go, 2 points out of a playoff spot. Phoenix is at 32 points. Orange County's at 31. So the West is crazy. So we'll keep an eye on the West going forward. Let's see. Jersey Talk with Bart, Will, and Jason Nix. Let's see. I think I'll wear them from the upcoming friendlies. Roster's coming this week, reportedly. I imagine they've already recorded the hype video, but might want to film some of the guys in them still. Let's see. Jason Nix has ordered the new Olive and York USM&T, much better and cheaper anyway. I'm going to take a peek at that. Let's see what, if you were to, I don't know, actually dial up the correct computer. Let's see. Actually, I have to click on it over here. That's the beauty of having, let's see. What is the Olive and York? Oh, I like that. Olive and York. Good job, Olive and York. I might actually have to buy that. All right. So, yes, Will, when they give you a pocket watch and say a computer took your job, that's hard times. One of the best promos ever. That is hard times, baby. By the way, since you went there, Will, on a Monday, this really, and may his God rest his soul, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, best promo ever. Now, and I think this is probably good. This is really, I really think that this is the best promo ever when it comes to sports entertainment, professional wrestling. And honestly, if there's anyone who wants to be in that business, that is the first thing that you show them the first day of class. You want to be in this business, you've got to have that kind of charisma. You have to cut this promo. You have to do this. You have to channel this kind of energy. You have to find out who your persona is. You have to find that character. You've really got to hit it hard. That's Hard Times. Hard Times is the promo by which all promos are to be judged, based, and followed along. That's just me. Yeah, and I wish I had that drop. That's one of the things that when we changed over from one system to another, Jason's library is far bigger than mine, and so that's one of the things that I've got to look forward to. Wiley Coyote. Dream lived in your subdivision in Marietta before he moved to Florida. You never overlapped, unfortunately. Apparently liked to chill at the pool in a Speedo. Wow. Okay. That's now that I have that vision in my head all morning. But yeah, Cody went to Lassiter. Yeah, so Cody Runnels went to Lassiter High School. And story time with John. Yeah, that's true. Basically the same as he wrestled in. So Cody went to Lassiter, story time with John. And as part of my coverage of high school sports in the past, one of the things that I would cover was the wrestling championships, and they were at the Agri Center in Perry because it was a centralized location, and they could, have the mats and they could have them all spread out before it became the big deal that it was, and it moved to the Gwinnett Arena, and you had 5 mats going on all at one time. Before it was there, it was at the Macon Coliseum, and it was at the Agri Center. And I want to say at the Agri Center, the one year when Cody won it was there. And I'm interviewing Cody, and Cody played along. And I give Cody a lot of credit for playing along. In Cody's corner that day, and I still have the tape somewhere because it was one of the most fun interviews I ever did. In Cody's corner that day, the American Dream, Glacier, DDP they were in his corner that day when he won the wrestling championship for Lassiter High School. And as we're doing the interview, and it's me and it's Cody and his dad and everyone had filled in behind. And the phone rings in the middle of the interview. And so Dusty had to excuse himself off camera, and he had to go answer the phone so he could go here. He comes back into frame, and he hands me the phone, and he goes, "Here, it's Dustin, talk." And so literally, this is in the middle of the interview. And so it's like, "It's Dustin," boom. And so he hands me the phone, and I literally said, "Dustin, John Nelson, great to hear your voice. I'm talking to Cody with the interview. Let me give you back to your dad." Literally, it was like 5 seconds. I don't even know if Dustin said a word. 5 seconds to acknowledge Dustin on the phone, that it was great to hear him, and the fact that Dusty Rhodes handed me a phone that had Dustin on it. That was one of the more surreal yet fun interviews that I ever did. Somewhere in my possession, I have that tape, and it's on DVC Pro, so it's a tape that's about that big. And but no, that was a fun interview to do. And as someone who has grown up watching all of that stuff, it was fun. So that was Story Time with John. And I think that with Story Time with John, that's probably where we're going to wrap it up today. Once again, thanks to everybody. And like I said, we'll talk about all the stuff that we've been talking about. Don't ever be afraid to reach out on social media. You can DM me. If you follow me, please do. If you don't, please do. At OSG Nelson on Twitter, Cute Sports Guy on Instagram, John Freeman Nelson on Facebook, because there's like 80,000 John Nelsons, and I added the Freeman because that was my middle name. So at OSG Nelson, Cute Sports Guy, and John Freeman Nelson. Follow along at Soccer Down Here. Like, friend, be a part of the conversation on all of our social media platforms. Soccer Down Here on Insta, Soccer Down Here on Twitter, Soccer Down Here on Facebook, which is where all this stuff will eventually go, and all of that stuff as well. So this episode rolls over now onto the audio side, coming up in just a little bit. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, and we will continue to get you ready for matches in Major League Soccer tomorrow, matches including Atlanta United on Wednesday. So thanks to everybody who was part and parcel to all of this stuff as we continue to roll through the season here in Major League Soccer and everything going on here in the world of soccer. We got Champions League tomorrow to talk about. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow, and we will do that. And hopefully you will come back. Thanks to everybody who is hanging out with us today. Once again, brought to us by our friends at Elimini. Sorry, Shooter. Maybe they can help. Use the /Boston to help you out in Foxborough after what happened. I know that my fantasy team took it, didn't take it very, very well. And here's my fantasy team. Here's my starting lineup. Aaron Rodgers, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott. You tell me how you think I did. Not well. And it did not improve. So later, thanks to everybody. Once again, Jason, all you guys, thanks for hanging out and being a part of everything here at Soccer Down Here. Since it is the end of the show, yeah, fantasy team definitely tanked. Since it is the end of the show, that means I get to do this.